I want to show you the attack ongoing on the freedoms in the Western world. Why? Because these are the elite that want to control you. Like Justin Trudeau, he slides into office on a rainbow of fruity colors. He's kind and good-hearted, right? But when asked, who does he admire most?
Even with Sun TV watching for any slip, he was asked which country he most admired and referred to China.
There's a level of admiration I actually have for China because their basic dictatorship is allowing them to actually turn their economy around on a dime and say, we need to go green as fast as we need to start investing in.
Yes, of course. He admires the authoritarian collectivists who don't give a damn about your individual liberties. Too bad there are impediments to his enacting of his dictatorial dreams, but in fairness to old Justin, his father would be proud of the progress he's made in dismantling them. Sure, sometimes he goes a little too heavy-handed, as he did when he openly attacked your personal property rights in Canada there, eh? Attempting to freeze the bank accounts of any individual associated with the truckers movement or who donated to them for their peaceful protest against his COVID mandates, which of course forced everyone to take the vaccine, calling you a threat to civil society if you didn't, a misogynist and a racist.
Mais il y a aussi des gens qui sont farouchement opposés à la vaccination.
Qui sont extrémistes.
Qui ne croient pas dans la science, qui sont souvent misogynes, souvent racistes aussi. C'est un...
Trudeau and his party, the Liberal one, would not even allow Canadians to leave the country as a punitive measure if they hadn't been accorded with the mandate and gotten their vaccine like good little sheep. Yeah, that's exactly what you want to do. You interpret a threat to the nation and you want to keep it within rather than jettison it, right? Of course, even though it was proven that the vaccine, in quotes, didn't prevent transmission, that didn't keep old Justin from keeping those measures in place for a long, long time. Oh yeah, he also tried to steal the money that was donated to the truckers standing for liberty, since they weren't BLM, which of course he lent his approval to as they burned down cities all across America. But to give him credit, his handlers in Canada, the WEF, whoever it is, got it right on gun measures. Take it slow. Ban the assault weapons, which he did in the year 2020.
We are closing the market for military-grade assault weapons in Canada. We are banning 1,500 models and variants of these firearms by way of regulation.
And once this measure is in place, hey, it's a lot easier to ban the handguns, which he just did.
Today, our national freeze on handguns is coming into force. From today forward, it is no longer legal to buy, sell, or transfer a handgun in Canada.
You see, what they do is they take it slow, one drop of water at a time. And over a certain number of years, they slowly erode your civil liberties. Like a river eroding what you think is granite bedrock, until your rights have become a canyon with a snake winding its way through. Yes, he's evil, and the Canadians deserve him, voting for him again and again. It's a shame that we have a communist country to the north of us, led, of course, by this monster. But I care much less about hockey and maple syrup as I do about baseball and apple pie. I want everybody to look north to Canada as they slowly boil their frogs, their little Frenchmen, in the pot. And I beg all of you Americans to heed this, to learn from this, because right now the Democrats are doing the exact same thing with our rights to free speech, with our guns. Give up your gun rights, they demand. Let us take them from you. You know who's historically done this? Taken away your gun rights? The Nazis, of course, before they overran Germany and killed and imprisoned anybody who stood against them. The communists, Stalin's henchmen, after they took your guns, could enter into any house in the middle of the night, arrest you and either murder you or ship you off to the gulags, where you were forced into labor for years and years, and most people didn't survive that. In Cambodia, they did the same exact thing before they murdered 30% of the population. And I can tell you that I've been to the killing fields and picked bone fragments off of the ground. In China, under Mao, of course they took the guns, and 50 million people died, give or take 10 million. But as they say, one person dead is a tragedy. 1,000 dead is merely a statistic. I'm not exactly sure what you would call 50 million. And then you take a look at the blue cities of America, the blue states, where they are trying to make it essentially illegal to defend yourself. All power to the criminal, none to the individual. And by the way, even if they were successfully able to outlaw guns, as Trudeau has basically done, do you think that the criminals are going to be abiding by this? Do not tread on me. Get your authoritarian, collectivist, greedy hands off of my rights, off of my throat from which I speak, and off of my gun, which I can use to protect my family. And this, by the way, is coming from somebody who grew up believing that all guns should just disappear. But thank you to the blue state Democrats and their response to the 2020 riots to make me absolutely certain that I was wrong in believing this. Oh, but you know who gets the right to carry guns? Those protecting Trudeau, the Royal Mounties, Nancy Pelosi, Joe Biden. They get to defend themselves or have others do it for them. But you don't get to defend yourself. Rules for thee, but not for me. Authoritarians like Trudeau want to be able to shut down peaceful protests, which in America is a violation of the First Amendment. He wants to shut down all dissent against his government. And that, my friends, is why we have the Second Amendment, to protect the First Amendment, our right to speak freely, to protest, to organize, and all of our other God-given rights.